there are a million reasons why certain people feel the way they feel who've been through things, right? And it is justified when they've had all these different challenges and barriers, and what we tell them, I'm not going to tell somebody going through depression or anxiety that, well, you know what? I've been through this, so you can make it through too. Because that they're not going to hear that. And the only thing they hear right now is that voice in their head in themselves telling them that it's better off me not being here. So anything outside of it's okay, the one thing we need to teach instead of that, it's okay not to be okay. Once you understand that it's okay not to be okay, it's okay if you say roll with the punches, it's all right to take a step back and notice that you got punched.
Right.
It's okay to heal from that punch before you get back rolling. Because we've been taught too long to roll with the punch, and by the time we roll with so many punches, we beat the fuck up. And once we beat that much up,
we don't even notice.
We don't know what's going on. We don't recognize ourselves. We can't move like we move. We don't feel like going on. We don't feel like doing anything. But nobody said, you know what, take that punch, take a step back, ice it, heal, figure out what's going on. And that's why I always say it's okay to not be okay, because everybody asks you, hey, you okay? You okay? First thing we program to say is, I'm cool. I'm okay. How many times have we stopped and been like, I'm not okay.
But one thing I just wanted to say was just like, you look at that, like just from dealing with personal things, like talking to friends that have schizophrenia or certain things like that. What do you say to somebody who hears voices?
Like
literally, like, so look, and you talk to them and they're telling you, like, yo,
they hear voices
clearly as they're hearing you right now.
I'ma tell you.
And it's like, how do you talk to
TV?
I'm just saying, this is different type. You know what I mean? Because I'm done with that.
There's a documentary,
but to be honest,
right?
like that's kind of part of it. People who like to sleep with the TV on, you kind of like programming all night. No.
I'm just saying.
I don't think I get it. No.
He's talking about. He's talking
I know what you're talking
paranoid
about.
Schizophrenia.
Right. I know what you're talking about.
Well, answer that quick. That's what we talking about.
Right. I can't give an answer.
I can though.
For paranoid schizophrenia. Bro.
I can get an answer.
Stop smoking weed. That's all I can
get. It's not about that. That's what I'm saying,
weed, my nigga.
It's not.
Leave the weed alone. Your weed man doing some other shit.
So look, I watched this documentary, right? I watched this documentary.
Delete that nigga's number.
Called Ernie and Joe, right? And it's these crisis cops, right? And the only thing they do is mental health.
Right.
That's what their job is. I met these cats. I rock with them, right? This is their only job, mental health. And there's a part in the movie where they bring in somebody who's paranoid schizophrenic. They bring in somebody who does the crisis intervention training. And one of the cops asked, he said, what do I do when I encounter somebody who's hearing voices? He said, the worst thing you can do is tell them that those voices don't exist.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? But you can acknowledge that because they hearing the voices. We not hearing them.
Clearly.
They hearing them. So if we telling them that those voices don't exist and they hearing them now, we giving them confusing messages. Now they even more wired. By relaxing them and asking them what those voices tell them.
Yeah, right? That's how you got to do it.
And then actually combating it almost like a negotiation. Like, all right, that's not right. I'm here. I'm telling you this. You can't see that person right now.
And they'll tell you to hurt yourself.
You know, just finding ways to like actually communicate. Because I think one of the biggest issues we have is people that go through mental health issues. A lot of us ain't equipped to talk to them.
Yeah.
So a lot of times we feel like we helping when we giving the wrong advice.
That's true.
We feel like we empowering them when we really hindering them, because now they just take it and then they go off into their corner, and now they in that same
It don't
mindset.
just turn off for them.
No, it don't. And like, we not equipped to talk to them. And it's so hard when you get these folks, because I think about black parents, and I think about my parents, and I think about those who grew up in my community. And when folks talk about, hey, well, you know, I'm depressed. You too young to be depressed. No, you're not too young to be depressed. What you mean?
Just out of curiosity, what were the voices saying?
Like, I've spoken to my bros. They like, I'm talking because, you know,
sometimes
some guys are like, some guys will study certain information and certain things, so they'll be on a different tangent. And like, one of my bros, he said he spoke to Azazel, which is like,
right. But this is something that he studies.
Yeah, but also it's something that, you know, is out there, you know, broadly, you know what I mean, religion and things like that. So if he's saying Azazel or the devil or whatever, speaking of him,
I just feel like sometimes you create patterns by the things. All right, if I sit down every day and and I study.
Sometimes people say they hear the voice of God, and God tells them to do certain things. I've had these conversations. Like, yo, I can hear
Case in point.
You know what I'm saying?
Bobby Fischer, chess player, studied chess all his life. Very hard to communicate with. Why? Because the time that he put into studying chess became a function of his brain to look at everything. So now a conversation is a chess game. A phone call is a chess game. Yeah. Taking a shower is a chess game. Because he obsessed to the point where that's just the functionality of his brain. You dig what I'm saying?
But he not heard. It's a difference between. That's like us with battle rap all day. Like my life is battle rap, right? If somebody say something at a event that I'm at where they public speaking, I'm like, talk that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But like that doesn't mean like I'm not having. There's not this battle rapper in my head and another battle rapper over here telling me to do weird or things to harm me.
I thought they can cut it short. You dig what I'm saying?
I dig it, but I don't agree with you.
I know it's not schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is like, you think you're mad at people.
My next door neighbor was schizophrenic, and one time she came knocking on my door, came in the crib. I was younger too, I was with my moms. And she was just like, yo, you FBI and y'all trying to get me locked up. I'm mad little, and I'm like, yo, what is she talking about? I'm so confused. But like the way my mom handled it, I was just like, damn, like I never seen nothing like that. I almost was like, Mom, why you a bet on this shit? Like, why you feeding into this? She's like, it's all right, you know what I mean? We're not gonna call the FBI on you. And then she calmed down more because my mom was not saying, yo, I'm not FBI.
I don't believe what you're saying.
Yeah, that shit crazy.
But she was more like, oh, you're not gonna tell on me? She's like, nah, I'm not gonna tell on you. I'm not gonna do that. And that worked.
Because she believed it already.
Yes. Opposed to us just being like, miss, you wildin', get the hell out of my house. You fucking bugging. I'm not the FBI.
They believe what
I did. Walk down the street and saw somebody who was unhoused, which is the proper term for homeless. Okay. I'll be trying to tell, you know.
Okay, unhoused.
Yeah.
Unhoused.
But seeing somebody who's unhoused, right, and they out there talking to themselves.
Yeah.
And everybody out there laughing and.
No, but here's the thing.
I remember being younger,
seen people
and seeing
with
that
with apartments that lived in my apartment doing the same shit. It's just you rehearse it enough.
Nah, I think it's like you said, it's a chemical imbalance sometimes, man. Sometimes people like smoke certain shit or certain things happen. Like I told you my experience with Geeked Up.
Everything that we do to a certain extent has to do with chemicals.
Yeah, exactly.
You playing with your daughter today released a certain amount of serotonin that made you feel good about what you was doing. But that don't mean that you got an imbalance now. You dig what I'm saying?
Of course. But
it's just what you train your mind to do.
If I smoke wet, I might be fucking running around here butt naked though. Because my mind is fucked up.
Eventually, I'm going to get paranoid to the point where I don't trust nothing and my thoughts are leading me more than anything else.
The unbalance happens when that's released unconsciously. That's the difference. I go to play with my daughter. It makes me happy. Boom. That's different. But when you can't tell me that a 6-year-old girl, there are 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 7-year-old kids that are paranoid schizophrenic, right?
I would have to see their upbringing.
That talk to them.
I definitely would have to see their upbringing.
It don't have nothing to do with their upbringing, bro.
It ain't about upbringing.
No, bro. It's not about. It's not about upbringing.
In certain cases,
there's multiple ways that comes about.
It's multiple ways.
So you mean no
trauma?
Bro, that's what we're not gonna do. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna do like
because I've experienced
when you talk about being paranoid schizophrenic, like that is a medical. That is it absolutely is. It's not. It has nothing to do with. It has nothing.
You telling me it can't be caused by trauma?
Oh no, not paranoid schizophrenic can't be caused by trauma. Now depression, anxiety, but being paranoid schizophrenic
can't be caused by trauma.
I'm just saying it's not caused by trauma. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's not.
But
I promise you that. Like
that's all. That's all I need to know. Can it?
Like that's not. It's not even. It's a fact. It's not even a myth. Like it's not even
caused by trauma, but trauma can
His hat's red, bro. It's not off. It's not pink. It's not fuchsia. fuchsia, it's red. That's a fact.
It could already be in there if you don't even know it.
You don't even know it, and sometimes it comes out later, right? Sometimes it comes out when you least expect it. You know, you got, when you talk about mental health, like, it has to be talked about from a medical term, because when it's not, then we take it for granted. We say, and we hear things that we've been brought up to hear, to say, oh, well, they just was raised this way, or well, maybe this happened when they was. No, that's not what it is. Like, you know why white folks deal with it in a way that they deal with it, and they get this therapy, because they were raised that way. They were raised to get that help, right? They were raised that this is a medical term. We need to see a doctor. We need to see somebody else. We were raised to, hey, you strong. Keep
Cut
it going.
that shit out,
man.
right?
That shit, yeah. You ain't.
You know
good.
he
That's
crazy.
in your head.
Look, Harriet Tubman, all the stuff she went through, and look, she made it. No, that's not what it is. We telling 7-year-old kids, you can't be depressed. What you gonna be depressed about? I remember my teacher told me that when I was in 3rd grade. What you gonna be depressed about? Hey, man, my brother got killed when I was 6 years old. What you mean what I'm be depressed about?
Right.
You know what I seen in my life? At such an early age?
Right.
No, absolutely. So when I talk to my son now, when my son then said some stuff that's kind of questionable, I'm like, hold on, you okay? What's going on? Talk to me. Well, Daddy, I feel like this because I ain't got no friends at school. And I can't take that for granted. How many times you done logged on Facebook and seen 12-year-old girl kill herself, 10-year-old kid
'Cause they
kill
ain't got
himself because
no
they
Yeah,
get bullied?
but in reality,
Like,
sometimes I feel like you gotta be that harsh. You gotta be the one to say, yo, get the fuck over that shit. You got a long life ahead of you.
Yeah,
Don't
nah.
even start thinking about this type of shit as the end of your world.
that was what I
You
was.
ain't got no friends in school.
That's
You
what
got
I was
cousins.
taught.
Call them over.
Math. That's what I was taught my
Get on
whole
Xbox.
life. That's what I was taught my whole life.
Expert opinion.
And at 34 years old, I tried to kill myself.
Yeah.
35-year-old, I tried to kill myself again.
Yeah.
And I'm the toughest nigga on earth.
But
I don't
by-
care what nobody got to say. What I've been through a lot.
Right.
It ain't too many people that been through what I've been through in 35 years in a lifetime. But that didn't stop me from having this mindset that, you know what? Maybe it's better off that I'm not here. Because what I was taught for so long was, man, kick that shit, man. You seen this already. You did this already. Like, you
Right.
seen what we've been through. Nah,
Right.
you ain't got time to dwell on that shit. And I took it and I became a robot.
Dig
The
it.
problem is when it finally hits you,